Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. We have a really serious topic to discuss, and that is Bitcoin going to zero? Now, I don't normally perform, traditional quote-unquote TA or technical analysis, but I decided to try my hand at it, and some of the indicators make me think that this could be the case. So let's go ahead and jump in. So, if we look at the number of Into the Cryptoverse YouTube subscribers on the y-axis, so it goes from 0 to 15,000, and then we look at time on the x-axis. On the secondary y-axis is the price of Bitcoin. So you can see it's, coming down, and then it goes back up, and then it comes back down. So it really hasn't, had a hugely remarkable last 6 months compared to this metric here. And notice that this goes from 0 to 15,000, whereas this only goes from 5,000 to 11,000. So there's a lot of movement in the number of YouTube subscribers. If we were to take the number of YouTube subscribers and divide by the price of Bitcoin, this is what we get. We get the this white line here, and you can see that it's gone from close to zero, because originally the number of YouTube subscribers that I started tracking was so small compared to the Bitcoin price that you could say it just basically was zero. However, in the last few months, it has gone all the way up to 2.5, meaning the number of YouTube subscribers is 2.5 times that of the price of Bitcoin. I've maintained the Bitcoin price on the secondary y-axis just so you can see it. But the interesting thing is that when the price of Bitcoin goes down, the number of YouTube subscribers goes up. Even if you look at when the Bitcoin price goes up, the number of YouTube subscribers keeps going up. So here we're gonna get rid of the data points and just look at the lines, and it looks like a pretty clear trend to me. We see this one going up, and then we see Bitcoin more or less going down in the last few months. So, with that said, let's go ahead and remove the price of Bitcoin and let's perform some analysis on this. We can see that we are in this very well-defined uptrend channel, of which case, we can't ever imagine us possibly breaking this trend line, because we know that these imaginary lines hold support that can never possibly be broken. They're just that supportive. I mean, look at this. You can see we've held it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. What more do you need? What more proof do you need to see that this is in this uptrend channel? Not only that, we peaked at around a ratio of 1.5 before retracing to the channel. Then we peaked again at a ratio of 2.75. And now we're starting to retrace again. Perhaps we're going to retrace back down here before seeing another move back up, at some point expecting the number of YouTube subscribers to be a 4x on the Bitcoin price. Now, when can we expect the number of YouTube subscribers to realistically hit 100,000? I like to think of this as a race to 100,000. So if we continued at the growth in the last few months, we would expect to get to 100,000 sometime in 2024. If the price of Bitcoin continues to ebb and flow, where we see a lot of subscribers pour in when the price is moving in either direction, and then it kind of stabilizes, and maybe we'll see ourselves get to 100,000 sooner. So the question is what's going to get to 100,000 first? But we really do have something serious to discuss, because is Bitcoin going to zero? Can we say it's a race between the number of YouTube subscribers to get to 100,000 and Bitcoin to get to 100,000 if Bitcoin's going to zero? If you plot just the number, if you inverse this, so if you plot the Bitcoin price divided by the number of YouTube subscribers, this is not a pretty graph, my friends. I mean, we've gone from around 5 in just since the end of last year to less than 0.5. And if we put this on a log scale, look at this. I mean, we've dropped more than an order of magnitude. We've dropped from around, you can see how quickly we've dropped. I mean, I guess this goes up to 5, but really it should have gone higher. I just cut it off. Here you can fully see it. I mean, it's going straight up, and here we've gone all the way down to around 0.4, 0.5 or so. So my question, or what I would like to say to you, is that in the last 6 months, the Bitcoin price has dropped by 96% with respect to the number of Into the Cryptoverse YouTube subscribers in the last 5 or 6 months. If something's dropping 96%, I mean, that almost makes it an altcoin, you know? I mean, is that what we're saying now? A 96% drop in 5 or 6 months? So my question is, what are you going long on? Are you going long on the Bitcoin price or the number of Into the Cryptoverse YouTube subscribers? I think that should be taken into consideration. But finally, we really should discuss something that's been on my mind, because one of the things we do like to talk about are these speculative bubbles that come up in the price of Bitcoin, and we like to know when they're going to pop, and they're fairly easy to identify. So the idea is, how long can these bubbles last before they just pop for good? How long can it realistically last? Now let's look at this old Bitcoin price chart, and it was right before the bubble popped, basically. So here it is. You can see, and it was smoothed out. You can see that the price is slowly building up. We kind of see that first sell-off, and then we go into our speculative bubble phase right before we see it come crashing down. So everyone's probably seen this chart before. You recognize it. It looks really similar to that textbook market cycle speculative bubble chart. But wait a second. This is the US federal debt.